of the live learning classes conducted by the Board of Studies of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. It's nice to be back with you all and look forward to more interaction on a very, very exciting topic. Topic is management and administration. Actually, this topic is given a very dry name here. It's called management and administration and all that. But basically, in those days, this used to be called meetings and procedures. Meetings and procedures. So this topic deals with corporate meetings. Okay. Mainly, or rather this topic deals with meetings of members and others like preference shareholders, equity shareholders, creditors, etc., except board. So, and also the topic, it's in chapter 7 of the Companies Act 2013. And as usual, it has its own rule also attached to it called the Companies Management and Administration Rules, right? So, in fact, you people are pretty much, if you have attended my earlier lectures on audit and one of my earlier lectures, we would have discussed some of the concepts. But then, now, for the next 4 sessions, we are going to study this topic in depth. And a very interesting topic, and has a lot of relevance to you practically. And as I told you, we are going to talk about meetings and related matters. This is the bulk. So 96 to 122 will be meetings and related matters. And you also have registers and returns. So more of that's boring. Believe me, it's boring, but it's needed. And I'll explain it to you when we come there, 88 to 95. So first we'll get into the exciting area of meetings. Now, I call this topic meetings, as I call it, corporate dynamics. Corporate dynamics. Because whatever you learned up to now, okay, the procedures, whatever, alteration of memorandum, alteration of articles, shifting the registered office from one state to another, whatever, yeah, change in the object class. Brother, you name it. Whatever you're doing, you're going to do it at a meeting. Because nothing is done by the company unless it is approved by the shareholders at a meeting. So that becomes a very important evidence for the fact that the company has done this. Because when you and I want to do something, we will do it. Because you are a physical person, I'm a physical person. So I want to conduct this class, I will sit in front of the laptop. The company is an artificial person. Has no brain, has no soul. No brain to think, no soul to be damned. So such an entity, obviously, how does it act? We'll take this up in more detail later. When we come to that part, I will tell you more about this. But the point is, this is very important. This cases could be won or lost based on whether the meeting is valid or not. So it's very important for you to know when the meeting is valid, when it is not valid, because suppose you have passed a resolution at a meeting. Agreed. You had a meeting, you did it. But if the meeting was wrongly convened or wrongly constituted or not constituted validly or wrongly conducted, then it is invalid. Kharab ho gaya. So what happens? Whatever was done at the meeting, be gone. That is also out. So you have to learn how to call notice, how to conduct, how to constitute quorum, how to conduct all this. There are basically, under the Companies Act, there are 3 types of meetings. We have board meetings where only the directors meet. Meetings of the directors, board of directors, is called board meetings. General meetings. These are meetings where members meet. Means when we say general meeting, normally we mean equity. The equity shareholders are the owners of the business. So when they meet and take decisions, it is called general meeting. Then you have class meetings. For example, preference shareholders are a class of members. They are meeting. Of course, by and large, preference and equity rules will be the same because both are shareholders. So generally, the rules applicable to equity will apply to preference with some exceptions. For example, preference shareholders cannot attend and vote at all meetings. You know that. Preference shareholders cannot attend and vote at all meetings. They are not entitled to notice for all meetings. but only where their interest is affected. For example, there's a variation in the rights. Even if there is a variation in equity rights, they are affected. Reduction in capital, they are affected. Buyback, no. Okay, whereas the reduction of capital, they are affected because the equity is not going to go scot-free. So buyback, no, they don't have to be called because it is part of the rule. It is an exception to the reduction. But the minute you are saying you are going to reduce capital, the minute you are saying I'm going to write off capital or reduce the liability on unpaid shares, uncalled shares, they are interested. Winding up, they are interested. Only in these cases, the preference shareholder will be eligible to attend and vote at general meetings. Otherwise, if they want to have a meeting of their own, they can. Specifically for themselves, they can. That type of meeting is called class meetings. For example, debenture holders as a class, they can meet. Secured creditors as a class, they can meet. Depositors as a class, they can meet. Okay. More or less, the rules of general meeting will apply to class meetings also. But with some exceptions which are mentioned in those sections, the rules that we are going to study are applicable to both general meetings as well as class meetings, right? Now, general meetings in turn are divided into annual general meeting, which is very important, and extraordinary general meeting. Now, board meetings is not in your syllabus. Wow. It's not in your syllabus. You will be studying it when you come to final, hopefully. Because by the time I'm sure you are there, you will come very fast, I'm sure. Even then, I think that topic will go into self-paced module. I have a feeling. No problem. You still have to study it. There you will study the concept of meetings of board and its powers. Very important topic. Okay. Recently, I had an issue with a client where, about one of the provisions. In fact, that particular area would be very regularly tested by, tested. So you have to be very, very careful. So there are 3 types of meetings. Out of that, in the case of general meetings, we have, just give me 1 minute. Yes. AGM, Annual General Meeting, popularly abbreviated as AGM. You might have heard of it. Now, in fact, this is the season for AGMs. September, July, August, September, annual general meetings will be held for many companies. You might, for example, some of the well-known AGMs are Reliance, TCS, Infosys, because these companies are called bellwether, BELL, WETHER, BEL, maybe 1L, I think, and WETHER, bellwether companies. Means they show how the wind is going. So these companies' performance will influence the market. Therefore, their AGMs are closely watched. When Mukesh Ambani ji says something, it's important because that will influence the price of Reliance, and by that, it will influence the entire market. So on and so forth. So when Ratan Tata ji is talking, we want to know what he's trying to say. Okay. In those days when Narayana Murthy was speaking, we were listening now I think it's gone. Okay. When Anand Mahindra wants to speak, we want to listen because what is he going to say? So it becomes very important for us. This happens at the AGM when the chairperson, the MD stands up to give a report, the board report. I'm sorry, the annual. We saw that now. The board's report and the financials are presented at the annual general meeting. The directors are appointed or reappointed at the annual general meeting. The auditor is appointed or reappointed at the AGM. Very important meeting. Other than this, whenever you want to transact any business, whenever you want to do something, you can have any number of extraordinary general meetings. You can have any number of extraordinary general meetings. There is no compulsion. It is a enabling provision. The law says, hey, you want to have a meeting? Please go ahead and have. This is the way it has to be done. So, Ajto, what we will do, we will see these 2 types of meetings. Okay. The annual general meeting and the extraordinary general meeting. First, section 96. should I remember section numbers? I think I've already answered this query many, many times. So there is no need for you to quote a section number so long as you have written the content, the provision correctly. But in case somebody is able to quote the sections, let us say that you have written the content correctly, but you have not given section, but somebody else has written the content correctly and given section, that gentleman or lady will get half mark more. Half. Okay, half mark. So if you 5 marks, you will get 4, he will or she will get 4.5. So half mark. So half mark, but that half mark may matter for me if I'm trying to get a rank or I'm trying to go for anything, whatever. So aggregate and all that, it becomes very relevant. That's you have to try to remember section numbers. Okay. Koshish kar dijiye. Don't make it compulsion, but try to. So section 96 deals with annual general meeting. Once upon a time, I used to know the sections by heart. Nay, the content by heart. I'm not joking. In those days, about 600 valid sections were there. 600 sections in the Companies Act, 1956. I used to easily about 250 sections by heart. 250 by heart. If you tell me the section number, I will tell you the section as per it, word by word. In fact, in some classes, students will be having the Companies Act open. In my ACS classes, Company Secretary class, there it's a core subject for them. For you, it's an ancillary. For them, it's a core subject. And I used to teach them the entire law. Once upon a time, the entire law was there in intermediate. Complete. From 1 to, I think, 720 or whatever. I used to teach that. Then I used to quote. They'll be having the book and say, sir, so I will not use that section. I will not use the book. And section numbers also. But that was 56. 2013, kuch nahi malum. I don't know anything. If you ask me section number, even I will be baba only. So anyway, I don't have to remember now because I'm not going to actually write this exam, Baba. So try to remember. And this is an important section, 96. Okay, so try to remember. Section 96 deals with annual general meeting. Nice number, 9 and 6. Okay, so now every company other than a one-person company, okay, shall in each year hold, in addition to any other meetings, a general meeting. Okay, right? So in addition to any other meetings, as I told you, you can have any number of other meetings. In addition to that, you should have compulsory. That's why I have highlighted shall. 100. Every company should have one meeting in each year. In addition to any other meetings, it shall hold a meeting as its annual general meeting. Compulsory. Not holding AGM is a violation. It is an offense. There are strict rules on when you should hold. Kyun? Why? Because, friends, the directors are running the company. On a day-to-day basis, I am the shareholder. I am an Aam Aadmi, ignorant fellow. I don't know what you guys are doing. You are all big shots. You are running my company. I have invested my money. Let us say that I have given you 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. It doesn't matter. For 10,000 I have given. I am an owner. Now, there is an accountability now. You guys, see, you run this company 1/4 to 31/3. I didn't interfere with you at all. I let you do whatever you wanted. Whenever you called me for AGM, I came, I voted for you also. Now, what happened? Did we make money? How much money did we make? Am I getting dividend? Okay, what is happening? What are the good things that you did in the last year? Okay, you had a problem, then what were these problems? Tell us. So, annually, there is a need that the board of directors should stand up in front of the shareholders at least once. And that cannot be avoided by the board. They have to take that responsibility of standing in front of the shareholders and giving a report where the shareholders are entitled to question them. Yeah, before every item of agenda, the chairman of the meeting will ask, I have attended some AGMs of large companies as a member, as an activist, as an investor association member, Tamil Nadu Investor Association secretary. So I used to attend. Okay, even without being a member, I'm entitled to attend. I've been invited. I'm representing SEBI there. As I can report, I can say, hey, this company ka AGM, this golmaal is happening, go. And I can tell them, as not Srikanth, but as TIA, we have We are an investor association. We can complain. Because public interest, Baba, that is where public interest. See, you are a company, huge company. You have taken so much money from the public. So I am a potential investor. I may not be your member. So we have the right to complain. That's only for listed companies. Unlisted companies, no. It is their business. I can't go into that meeting. But listed companies, sometimes it is there. Even then, voting cannot be done. Only a member can vote. Non-member, no. Can just sometimes where they personally have been invited also to attend meetings, to be there and to support. The point here is AGM is very, very important. Okay, the meeting shall be specified as AGM in the notices calling it. So AGM is compulsory for all companies except OPC. It is an annual feature. All of us have a birthday, na? Every year we celebrate, na? Okay. Sometimes I used to ask my students in my classes, which is the most important day in your life? Which is every year, which is the most important day? Harsal, which is the most important day? Immediately they will say, my birthday. So nobody has said my mother's birthday. So this is a very important date in the calendar of a company. AGM, believe me, for large listed companies and even large closely held companies, there will be a lot of pressure on the finance team. Later on, once you become a member of the institute, because that is what you're trying to do here, na? The whole point of going through all this stuff, studying all this nonsense, writing exams, sacrificing your valuable time when you could be watching Asia Cup match. No, why are you doing all this? Because you wanted to become a chartered accountant. After that, what happens, Baba? After that, okay, once you become CA, what? You will be employed in a large company. Okay, in which case, some of you would be responsible for finance and accounting, balance sheet. Okay, in which case, this AGM is going to be a very important date for you because you have to get the accounts finalized, call the auditors, get the accounts audited, ensure that the audit report is given, and so on and so forth. You will work in tandem with the secretarial department, the company secretary. So he will keep pressuring you. When will the accounts get ready? In the meantime, the auditors will be saying, sorry, we can't sign now. We got to verify this, that board Tanjavur, they will say. So you will be in the middle of everything, and again you will get call from MD because for him the AGM is important because the bank would have put a pressure on him that he has to give the audited accounts. We can't do that unless the accounts are adopted at the AGM. Without adoption at AGM, the accounts have no meaning. If they are not adopted, you know what happens. He has to give reason enough. So maybe you would have given a provisional accounts to the bank, but they will say, please send us the annual report approved at the AGM, like that. So this becomes very important. And the rules connected with AGM are there, right? The rules connected with AGM are there. There are 3 rules that you need to remember. One, the first rule, very important. There are 3 rules, one of which the third rule you already seen. AGM shall be held once in every year. Now you will ask me, I'm sure I'm not getting queries, but I'm sure you will want to ask me. In case I have not clarified it before, again I'll clarify. When you say year, do you mean financial year or calendar year? Please remember, later on when we come to General Clauses Act, I will tell you exactly which section. But as of now, believe me, under the General Clauses Act, the word year always means calendar year. Sirf year, nothing before it. No, before it, nothing. Then it is calendar year. Calendar year is based on the Gregorian calendar, the British calendar, which was adopted, the Roman calendar, I should say, means it began on the 1st of January and ended on the 31st of December. 1st of January ended on the 31st of December. You have to ask one question now. You are counting your years. The Gregorian calendar begins on the 00 of AD 1. Okay, 000000 AD 1, which was that birth of Christ. Now, birth of Christ happened according to us on 25th of December. Yeah. So, how come? It should be on 1st, 000000 1 January. That will be the first. No, it begins with the birth of Christ. That's why the Gregorian calendar, they made adjustments. To my knowledge, about 46 or 56 days were lost like this. So they made all the adjustments and then they got into the Gregorian calendar, which begins with 1st of January and ends on the 31st of December. That is year. So every year between 1st of January to 31st of December, there should be one AGM. AGM shall be held once in every year. The gap between two annual general meetings should not exceed 15 months. For example, last year I held my annual general meeting in July. Then July to the current AGM, that gap means the interval, the number of days between that, number of months should not exceed 15 months. Now be careful. When they say months, don't count days. For example, I held my AGM on 15th of July. So my 15 months will get to an end on 14th of July. July to June, 12 months. So July, August, September. July to June, July 15th to, July 15th to June, July 14th. July 15th to July 14th, 12 months. Then July, August, August, September, September, October. So 14th October, 15 months. You have to hold it before 14th of October. Otherwise, 15 months will get over. Month you count from day to day. No counting days. Okay. They are 15 months. So they are giving you time, 15 months. But there's one more rule that says AGM to be held within a period of 6 months from the date of closing of the financial year. So normally financial year will close on 31st of March. 6 months means what? You will have 30th of September. So wherever you go, you can run around the mulberry bush. Finally, you will come to 30th September as a date. 30th September as the date. Okay. Now you have a problem. Oh my God, sir, I have this, sir, audit is not completed, sir. This, sir, flood, sir, pandemic, sir, blah, blah, sir, whatever, sir. Then you go to the registrar. The Registrar of Companies may, for any special reason, that reason should be very special. You cannot say my MD's mother-in-law died, therefore. No. It should be a special reason for why you could not, conduct the AGM. Usually, if it is to an extent, they will give you time. The ROCs are pretty thing. So you can apply, they will give. You can say some illness, something you tell validly. Say somebody fell ill, the chief accountant fell ill for he was in thing. Therefore, by the time he could come back, it was not possible to finalize. Invariably, any extension will revolve around audit and accounts only. It will be delay in finalizing the accounts by the auditors. Okay. That is not due to the auditor, please. If all the data is ready, why is he not signing? Our friends would have taken a lot of time by the time. So he would have been begging from December of that earlier month, he would have been begging, asking this, that. They wouldn't give. They'll keep on casually and enjoying life. Then around July and all, they'll be enjoying. August, enjoy. Suddenly on 15th of August, Independence Day, they will wake up. Audit. They're right. I have already given you my queries in December, Baba. November, December. I came. 31st March, I did a stock audit. I took stock. I gave you all my queries. I've given you everything, every point I've given you, but you're not replied. Now you reply. Now they'll start like headless chicken running around, consulting advocates, consulting company secretary, this, that. And then by the time 30th September, notice has to be given 21 days. So they'll go running to the Registrar of Companies. Kindly extend the time. The registrar also will extend. You go through the company secretary, he will do it. The practicing company secretary, you go right. He knows how to speak the language of the registrar and he will get the time. Okay. So the registrar may, for any special reason, extend the time within which any annual general meeting other than the first AGM shall be held by a period not exceeding 3 months. So extension possible for all annual general meetings except first annual general meeting. We'll be seeing the special rules for first annual general meeting. First annual general meeting alone is an exceptional rule. First AGM, also the first financial year. Do you remember? You remember the first financial year ka rule? Earlier we saw. Same thing applies for first AGM also. that no extension. No, not possible. Because you formed the company, you are given you 9 months, they are going to give you. So much time we are giving you, and still you cannot do it. No, no extension. But any other AGM, you can go to the registrar, fall at his feet, and get it extended by 3 months. Right? Now, so I'm sure you are clear, because you may have queries. Now, one more suggestion. In case you are not able to attend, or no problem. You listen to the video. You are listening to the video now. Whatever doubts or queries you are having, don't worry. We'll have a class on Monday. That is, Kalto, we have a class in the evening. Okay, that is usual, 6 to 8:30. At that time, you can ask. If you have a doubt, kindly keep it and ask. In case you are asking a query from a problem in the book, kindly share the facts also. So sometimes the wordings, the way you are writing in English, I may misunderstand, whereas the problem may be given in a different way. So kindly share the actual problem with me, and I will definitely give my view on it. Okay. But basic principles are the same, sir. Whether it is institute or institute material or Bar Act or whatever, I go by the Bar Act. Okay, I go by the Bar Act. Whenever you see, my best suggestion are these PowerPoints I am giving as PDF now. Use it. First, you read the Institute Board of Studies material fully, thoroughly once. Take notes if you want. Actually, no need to take notes, but any queries are done. Then read my slides thoroughly once. That's all. You are thorough with that subject. Nearing the exam, take out my slides quickly. In the meantime, answer questions from the practice manual. That is all. Do it systematically. Have a timetable. Cover all the topics once. 15 days before the exam, the last topic should have been covered one round. So, one revision, then second revision. By 15 days before the exam, you should have done it once. For all topics. I'm not talking only for this, all subjects. Then 15 days before the exam, you'll have 15 days now. Those 15 days you do glancing, perfecting, polishing, wherever doubt is there. And some tough topics, read it again. You might have forgotten. Again, read it like that. That way, if you follow, believe me, you will definitely clear. There's no doubt about it. First AGM. The first annual general meeting of the company should be held within 9 months from the closing of the first financial year. 9 months. So, from the closing of the first financial year. Now, where a company holds its first annual general meeting, as aforesaid, it shall not be necessary for the company to hold any annual general meeting in the year of its incorporation. See, friends, and also we know that extension of time cannot be granted by registrar with respect to holding of the first AGM. Now, all of you will have a confusion here. Please understand. We are not saying you need not hold. You are saying it shall not be necessary. There are some companies which may have to hold. Okay. But why? Because we are revising this. This has been already taught to you in accounts and audit. I'm again covering it. Financial year, not year, sirf year, calendar year, financial year defined. 2 subsection 41. Financial year means the period ending on the 31st day of March every year. Financial year means the period ending on the 31st day of March every year. Obviously, it begins on 1st of April and ends on 31st of March. Now, where a company is incorporated after 1st of January of a year, financial year is the period ending on 31st day of March of the following year. Okay. You got it now? Where a company is incorporated on 1st day of January of year, financial year is the period ending on 31st day of March following year. Now, let us say that a company was incorporated on, we already done a problem on this, remember? And we also did AGM at that time. At that time, I told you, I have not taught AGM, but you will learn it in management and administration. Now I'm teaching you the first AGM curve, same thing. So the company is incorporated after 1st January. Then financial year is the period ending on 31st day of March of the following year. Now, my dear friends, if a company is incorporated on 1/4 or later, no problem. 1st of April and later. Because the 31st day of March will be the next year ka 31st day. No problem. Got it. But suppose a company is incorporated on 1/1 to 31/3. 1/1 to 31/3. The problem is, if let us say, why take 31/3 or 1/1? Take comfortable date. My company was incorporated on the 5th of March, 5 of March. Now, there is one period beginning on the date of incorporation, ending on 31st of March. Am I correct? Small period it is there. Even assuming it was incorporated on the 5th of January, there would be a small period beginning on the 5th date of incorporation, right up to 31st of March. So, in all fairness, for that part year, I need to finalize accounts, get it audited. And I should have my AGM within 9 months from that date. No, this is why they are giving an exception. They are saying where a company is incorporated at the first day of January of a year. One more thing, all companies will be incorporated only after first day of January. And that too, the way they are putting it, it is as if first day of January is exempted. No, 1 onwards, first day of January onwards, if you are incorporated, you can hold it. The financial year is the period ending on 31st day March of the following year. See, a company incorporated in September, no problem. December, no problem. Fellow, the minute this fellow is incorporated on 1st January, his year ending will go to next 31st March. See, for example, a company is incorporated on 5th of January 2023. When will their first year financial year end? Not on 31st March 23, but on 31st March 24. 31st day of March of the following year. So, though I am incorporated on 5th of January, I have to prepare accounts from the 5th of January 23 to 31/3/24. It will be more than 12 months period. And for that period, I will have to conduct an audit, and that AGM will be held within 9 months from 31/3/24. 31/3/24. That means December, 9 months now. So, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. On or before 31st December 24, you have to hold the first stage. Now, what will happen? Now, come and now read the next part. Where a company holds its first AGM 9 months from the date of closure. You have to read it in conjunction. You understand? You have to read this in conjunction. You are incorporated on or 1st January before 31st March. Or rather, between 1/1 to 31/3, you are incorporated. Then your financial year will shift to 31st March next year. In which case, your AGM will be held only at the end of the next year. So what about one AGM every year? This rule, AGM shall be held once in every year. What happens to the year of incorporation? There will be no AGM in 2023. They say no problem. Where a company holds its AGM within 9 months from the closing of the first financial year, it shall not be necessary to hold any AGM in the year of incorporation. But this is not true for all, yeah. It can be different, right? So, yeah, but most companies, whenever you are incorporated, your year will end on 31st March next year only, now. Then, whether automatically your financial year will end. Then so that year of incorporation, you need not hold a AGM, right? So invariably, no company will have a AGM in the year of incorporation. Am I correct? No company. Because all companies will close their accounts only on the 31st of March next following. The real point here is, see, look here. This is a problem we discussed. Yes, we already discussed it. Abhiruchi Limited was incorporated on 11th December 2021. When should the company hold its AGM? 11th December 2021. Now what happens? According to 96(1), the company's financial year will close on 31st March 22. Now link it with this section, first AGM. Then you will understand. The company's financial year will close on 31st March 2022. No problem. 11th December to 31 March 22, one period is there. The company may hold its first AGM 9 months, 31st December 2022. Now, would your answer be the same if you are informed that the company was incorporated on 11th February 2021? Because 11th to 31st March 21, there is one period now that is ignored. Your answer will be the same. Whether the company is incorporated on 31st December or on 1/1, the same. Your financial year will move to 31st March next year. And your AGM will be held within 9 months by on or before 31st December 2022. In which case, you need not, it shall not be necessary to hold any AGM in the year of incorporation. There is an exception to this general rule. The general rule is every company should hold an AGM once in every year. This rule exception is first AGM. First AGM need not be held in the year of that. There in a company incorporated, first year of incorporation, it shall not be necessary for the company to hold any AGM in the year of its incorporation. Okay. We already saw this. This was already taught in financial year, but you have to connect and read. First, the AGM and accounts are closely linked. Audit, AGM, audit, accounts, closely linked. Because the subject matter at the AGM will be accounts and audit only. So there's a little bit of a link here. Okay. An auditor gets reappointed only at the annual general meeting. Of course, for 5 years at a time. So no problem. Earlier it was every year. Now we will move on to time and place for holding an AGM. Time and place. As you say, there is a time and place for everything. So the time and place for holding an AGM, 96(2). AGM shall be held. See, this Ministry of Corporate Affairs will do all sorts of funny things in this. Jokes and all they will do here. We will see that. Okay. AGM shall be held during business hours. That is between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. on any day that is not a national holiday. Meaning you cannot have your AGM on Independence Day, Christmas, Diwali Day, no. Anything announced as a holiday, national holiday. National holidays will be announced by the government under what is known as the Negotiable Instruments Act, which we will be studying shortly. So once it is declared as a national holiday, you cannot have it. So it is held during business hours, 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Now this is nice, but it's not friendly. This rule is nice, held during business hours, but it is not investor friendly in my humble view. Why? Because see, most of the members of my investor association are employed in bank, employed in companies. They're employees. They have their own job, yeah. They have to go. So if you're going to hold it during business hours, how will this poor Aam Aadmi come? See, you are all big shots, you are directors, your grandfather earned money and you don't have to work. I am a man, I have to go to office every day. Unless I go, nothing. I can't earn my bread. And out of that small savings I have invested in your company. And you want me to come on 10:30 a.m. on Monday morning? No. How can I attend? Okay. So this is not a good idea. They could have said, I can hold it on any day. Even a Sunday would be there. Sundays everybody will come. But no, the rule is AGM shall be held during business hours, 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. on any day that is not a national holiday. Many times closely held companies will become listed company, mismanaged fellows. And luckily, rightly or wrongly, at that time I used to be auditor and all. So that the MD will be shivering for the AGM because the AGM is the only day this fellow will come up for reckoning before the shareholders. It is like Yamadharmaraj ka thing, he'll go and stand up there. And all sorts of course, the other side is also there. The investors also will be very unruly. After all, you would have invested 10,000 rupees in this company. The fellow will talk as if he's some big Warren Buffett. He will stand up and he will say, what have you done? What is this? What is that? No, he'll ask. And this MD who's invested, see, the stake-wise, if this company doesn't do well, your loss is only 10,000. My loss is 10 crores. So my loss means the MD's loss is 10 crores. So my stake is higher. But even then, we are accountable to every shareholder. So that flow will ask all sorts of. So what I used to say, hey, hold it on Monday, man, at 10:30 a.m. Hold it in the factory where there is. Invariably, the registered office, I will ensure that it is at the factory, which will be some, say, 50 kilometers outside. You hold it there, 10:30 a.m. in the morning at factory. You cannot, nobody can prevent you because AGM shall be held either at the registered office of the company or at some other place within the city, town or village in which the registered office of the company is situated. So what I'll do, you have your thing, your AGM, you have your registered office at the factory only. Okay. And where you maybe Tadepalligudam, Ramagundam, wherever you want. Okay. And you hold the meeting at 10:30 a.m. in the morning at Tadepalligudam. Who's going to come? Unless some fellows are really keen on coming, they'll have to take a train. You know, there are only few trains that stop at Ramagundam. Then from there you have to go all the way. It's not easy. I've gone there. I know. Very difficult to go. The train stops at Ram. You can't directly. I don't think Tadepalligudam. I think it stops, but or Ramagundam. I think you have to get over and go. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving the name wrongly. Point is, anybody from Andhra will know better. But the point I'm saying is, it's a remote place. Yeah, I think it's a very remote place. Karimnagar, I think, Telangana. It's a very, very remote place. Very difficult to go. Okay. So you hold it there on Monday morning, 10:30 a.m. Only MD and 5 people will be there. You hold your meeting and go. These are unfortunate. This is the problem. But suppose the company has done well. The company has performed well. They will hold it in the city. They will say, Mr. Srikanth, this time we have to have a big AGM. Our MD wants to address. Why? Because he has done well. But in a year when they are not doing well or they are doing some problems, they will keep quiet. They will have it. But so the option is there. You can have it either at the registered office of the company or at some other place within the city, town or village in which the registered office of the company is situated. But while I'm there, my dear friends, one more clarity I'll give you. So that later on you will not ask me again. Today, it doesn't matter. Because we are living in a virtual world, in a digital world, when geography is history. I can sit wherever and I can attend your meeting electronically. So, in fact, Reliance made history as usual by holding the first virtual meeting. Virtual meeting. Usually, Reliance ka AGM, where they will hold? Reliance Industries ka AGM. Because they have lakhs and lakhs of shareholders. Minimum attendance will be 20,000, like that. Where they will hold? Football stadium. I'm not joking. Reliance ka AGM will be held in football stadium. So many people attend. But nowadays, no. Mukesh, during pandemic, we learned a lesson. So Mukesh ji said, you guys sit at home. We will send you a link. I will hold the AGM in one physical place. I will be there. Some people can come. If you want, you come. But pandemic, be careful. And then that meeting will be sent everywhere. So today we are living in a virtual world. See, in 1999, I presented a paper at the conference, the regional conference of the Institute of Company Secretaries. 1999, it's a published paper where I mentioned how, that was 99, when only the .com companies have come and the early stages of the web and the internet and the www, World Wide Web. But at that time itself, I felt, hey, here's a great opportunity. Instead of holding a meeting in physical form, hold it in virtual form. Even today, virtual meetings have not been fully sanctioned. You have to hold a general meeting physically, but that physical meeting proceedings will be sent by web through YouTube or whatever, and every member can attend, etc., etc. But voting, be careful. Virtual voting, not it. Electronic voting, yes, we have electronic voting, okay, etc. But today, definitely, technology has enabled and solved the problem. Okay, so Monday morning, 10:30 a.m., you can log in. You can sit in the office on one portion of the laptop. You can log in and look. Mukesh Ambani speaking here. Listen through the earphone. Whoever the MD is speaking, listen. You can even be allowed to raise queries on all. Queries can be replied. All sorts of things. Today, with technology, anything is possible. We are living in a virtual world. Okay. In fact, most marriages, especially in South India, ours are very elaborate marriages with a lot of rituals and all. So, and many times, most of our South Indians, our relatives are not in India. They are in US or wherever, Canada, wherever. So they can't come all the way. So what we do generally is, any marriage, the photographer will be given additional assignment. He has to give a website link on YouTube or whatever, his own site. And this continuously, the live stream of the marriage will be televised. I mean, will be sent through the link to everybody. Maybe there will be a small delay due to data transfer, but that could be 2 minutes, 3 minutes ka delay. So Mangalya Dharam is happening here, they will be seeing it 2 minutes later. That's all. But everything will be going on simultaneously. They will see. So such things are possible today. Therefore, if at all you want, it is not compulsory. As of now, it is not compulsory. But many companies which want to have publicity, they will do. But Dubakor Limited, Manaran Company, they won't do. They will say you come to the registered office or you come to Ramagundam and attend my meeting like that. So you have to go. So AGM of an unlisted company may be held at any place in India if consent is given in writing or by electronic mode by all the members in advance. Only for unlisted company. Listed company rule is registered office. Whereas unlisted company, they are saying, if all the members are agreeing, it may be held anywhere in India. Provided you should get consent. Before the meeting, they should send a notice. We have no objection to holding AGM in Mumbai, though the registered office of the company is Chennai, whatever. If all the members agree, no problem. Okay. But again, it's stupid. No? Listed company only, they should give this benefit. They should say a listed company can hold its meeting anywhere. Because it's a widely distributed shareholding, boss. If you are having your registered office in Bavra, in Madhya Pradesh, nothing wrong. Your factory is there. You are having very happy. You founded it. Your native place and all. I'm happy. But now you are such a big company, Baba. Your main corporate office is in Bombay, Maharashtra mein hai. So how you can? So you should be allowed to hold anywhere. And most of the shareholders are sitting in that area only, like that. See, all these things are things. But today, my dear friends, even at the cost of repeating myself, virtual means it's totally different. Virtual meetings, believe me, another 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, virtual reality will become better and connectivity will become better. Moore's law will be. So the devices that we use will be very small. Holographically, for example, I'm now sitting in front of 2-dimension. You're able to see me on your laptop or mobile or computer screen. In another 5 years, you'll have a device that projects my holographic image on your table. My holographic image, 3-dimensionally, you can see me taking the class, okay? Walking around and all that. If I have the technology, I can do that. The technology will become cheaper. And I can stand, walk around, etc., holographically. Even board, I can use a Blackboard, okay? All that will come, believe me, okay? By then, I may be a little more Buddha, but still, technology, I'm waiting for new technology so that I can use it and make your learning experience better. So, okay, what did we learn? Held during business hours, not on a national holiday, at the registered office or in the same city, town or village. This rule applies to an unlisted company, can have anywhere in India, provided consent is given in writing by all members in advance. National holiday means and includes a day declared as national holiday. Declared. For example, some senior person, past president, or ruling president, somebody dies, that day will be declared as a national holiday. Got it? It will be declared as a national holiday. Suppose you have decided to hold a meeting and then that day is declared as national holiday, what happens? You'll have to postpone it. That's all. No other go. You can't hold it on that day. The central government may exempt any company from the provisions of this subsection subject to such condition as it may impose. See, recently when the pandemic happened in 2020, 2021, 2022. These 3 years, continuously the central government was exempting all companies. Because of the nature of the pandemic, they said, even if you don't hold in India, no problem. Hold it within, they kept on extending the time for holding. Beyond this 3 months extension, they gave for all companies because of pandemic. So for any reasons, the central government has retained the power to push. Now, some exceptions are there to this. 96(2), subsection 2, deals with time and place. So these exceptions are for time and place. Okay, time and place only. Hey, Suniyaji, only for time and place. Okay, these exceptions are only for time and place, not for all the rules. Please. In case of Section 8 company, the time, date, and place of each AGM are decided upon beforehand by the Board of Directors, having regard to the directions, if any, given in this regard by the company in its general meeting. So a Section 8 company alone can fix the time, date and place of each AGM. They say every year our AGM will be held on whatever, the fourth Saturday or the fourth Friday of July, August, whatever. You can have. Okay, but be careful. Don't say our AGM will be held on 29th of February every year, because 29 will come 28 days, 29 more. Once in 4 years only you can have your AGM. You got to be careful. But you can fix the date and time and place of each AGM beforehand by the board. Of course, the members can. See, this is a facility given to Section 8 company, because Section 8 basically are like societies now. They are all known people doing good things. So they say, hey, every year we should meet on Gurudev's birthday, whatever. But that should be coming within the 6 months category. Be careful. Okay. Problem is, many of the spiritual people, they think they are beyond the normal law. Sorry. They are, even if you are doing spiritual things, you are subject to the law of the country. You have to obey the law. In case of a government company, the central government may approve a place other than the registered office or some other place in the same city, town or village in which the registered office is situated. So, normally registered office or same CTV. Normally, AGM should be held at the registered office or at any other place in the same CTV. CTV means not color television. It means city, town or village. Whereas government company, the central government can approve a place other than the registered. You can't decide. You have to go to the central government and say, we are a government company. We want to hold it in New Delhi. Go on, hold, enjoy. Because the minister has to attend or some other fellow has to attend. So, hold it in Delhi. Go on, hold it. No problem. You are a government company. You do whatever you want. Run naked. I have no problem. So, central government may approve a place other than the registered office or some other place in the same city, town or village in which the registered office is. See, other than. So, they need not hold it in the same city, town or village. They can hold it at a place other than, meaning any other place. So I told now your registered office is, let us say, in Bombay, Mumbai, but you want to hold your AGM. See, government company, how many shareholders will be there? Think about it. The central government will be represented by one officer. There will be 2 more guys who are nominees. Okay. Board of directors will be more than number of shareholders. Central government. Maybe a couple of more other outside shareholders, about 10 other shareholders are there. Okay, you say the representative of the central government would be an undersecretary of the ministry, of that ministry, of whichever ministry it is. Not MCA. Ministry of Corporate Affairs is only administering the Companies Act. Whereas that government company may come under the Ministry of Energy, in which case there will be an undersecretary from the Ministry of Energy. Undersecretary was very, very high position, reporting directly to the minister. So that gentleman will be the nominee. On behalf of the central government, he will attend now. And only he has to attend now. Nobody else has to come. Maybe for Namke Vaste, they'll have 2 more shareholders. They'll all come. These people are all in Delhi bus. So they'll say, hey, you guys, you come there. We will be in Delhi, you come. So you can hold it in Delhi also. No problem. Okay. The above mentioned exception shall be applicable to a Section 8 company or a government company only if there is no default in filing financial statements under Section 137. Yaad rakhiye na? You remember we studied in that. 92 we are going to see. Not now. When I teach registers, I will teach. Not now. Though you might ask me, sir, 88, why you are not starting? Why are you starting from 96? Because the logic is better that way. First I will teach in this order, then I will teach you, don't worry. 92 will be taught. When I come to registers, returns and registers, I will teach you. Okay. Now, there are 2 exceptional cases where central government or tribunal can call an AGM. So, we are going to see power of tribunal to call an AGM. When can the tribunal call or direct the calling of an AGM? Okay, 97. Section 97 deals with power of tribunal to call an AGM. You remember what is the tribunal? Tribunal is the National Company Law Tribunal. It is a quasi-judicial body any disputes under the Companies Act or any approvals, etc., they don't want central government to take the decision. Because if you know it, I'm sorry, but if you don't know, please know. Law is made by Parliament. The Parliament is called the legislature. That law is administered by the executive. Each state, there will be a chief secretary. In center, there is a principal chief secretary. Each state will have a police commissioner, IG of police, the Inspector General of Police. These two gentlemen, the chief secretary and the IG, will report to the chief minister, the elected representative of the people of that in that state. He is the leader, or he has been elected by the party with the majority as its representative as chief minister. So they will report a chief minister. Our democracy is very peculiar. Okay, so we don't elect our leaders. We elect the party, and then the party decides who will become the chief minister, like that. So we don't actually, but of course, by and large, we will know who is the candidate, who is going to be there. For example, we will know for sure who will be the prime minister. But so we are in a way voting for that, but still we are electing a party. If the party has the majority, then only they can decide who will be the this one. So executive is there. Now, friends, executive has a lot of power. The law gives them a lot of power. So it is quite possible that a policeman, police inspector, or a registrar of company, or the regional director can misuse that power. This is a fear. That is why they are closely monitored. Vigilance is there. Things are there. We are watching. Are you really administering this law correctly, or are you doing something? So the executive has to be monitored. Who will monitor the executive? That is the judiciary. Whenever as a citizen, I feel that the executive is persecuting me or doing something that is, not correct. When the principles of natural justice are not followed by the executive, I can go to the judiciary. Now, judiciary normally is the court, high courts, the lower courts, and the Supreme Court. But they are already flooded with cases. So earlier on in 1970s itself, I think 80s, they decided, the 80s, I think, 88, I think, they decided that it's better to have a body. Earlier, there was a body called Company Law Board, CLB. The CLB used to do this. Then they brought in what is known as the Tribunal. Tribunal is a quasi-judicial body. And if you have any complaint or anything, you can go to the Tribunal. So the Tribunal has been given a lot of powers. So they monitor the executive. And the executive cannot do certain things. The central government, represented by the Minister of Corporate Affairs, definitely is a powerful body, but their power is subject to judicial scrutiny. And in the first instance, that is quasi-judicial body is Tribunal. But the problem with the Tribunal is part of the ministry. It's definitely separate body. It's a quasi-judicial body, etc., etc. Appointment to the Tribunal is done by a carefully selected process. But bottom line, it is within the ministry, right? So, assuming you are not happy with the Tribunal, you can go to the NCLT, National Criminal Law Tribunal. Okay, there also, remember, it comes directly under this. So, if you are not happy, then you can go to the Supreme Court. There, no, because the independence of the judiciary is very, very important for a democracy. If the judiciary is not independent, sorry, no point in calling ourselves a democracy. Okay, so, but this has been proved again and again by the Indian Supreme Court. Again and again, they have proved that the Supreme Court is superior to the bar, that they are superior to the legislature, and they are superior to the, legislature, no. What is an act of parliament? The court cannot change even one word, but interpretation they can give. They can give an interpretation. We'll be seeing that when we come to interpretation. So why I'm making this elaborate explanation now? To put the Tribunal in context. So they don't want to give certain powers to the ministry. They are saying, hey, these powers you don't exercise. Let the Tribunal do it with a judicial point of view. Why? What is the difference between the central government doing it and the Tribunal doing it? Central government doing it is an executive. He may not give a reasonable opportunity of being heard, but the Tribunal is a quasi-judicial body. It is bound by the principles of natural justice. A reasonable opportunity shall be given to the other party to make his or her representation or its representation. So that is why, of course, having said that, my dear friends, even the executive in certain positions has quasi-judicial powers. For example, your income tax officer conducting a hearing under 143.3 or 147 read with 142 is bound by the quasi-judicial process. That is, he is a quasi-judicial body. He is bound by the principles of natural justice. Never forget that. He has to give you a reasonable opportunity. The word reasonable is a very, very powerful word. What is reasonable? Minimum, he should give you one opportunity. He can't say, give it tomorrow. So you say, I need another 1 week. He should give you. If he doesn't give you, then it is not a reasonable opportunity. So on and so forth. See, this is more practical. I'm just sharing it with you so that you can remember it. Later on, when you become a member in full practice or senior corporate executive, remember. Okay. There is something called principles of natural justice. See, GST is sending you a notice, show cause notice, reply tomorrow. No, he's give you minimum 30 days time he has to give you. Then he has to consider what you're saying. And after taking it into account, he has to give a speaking order. He can't simply say, you are a fool, I don't agree with you. No, hello, whatever I mentioned, you counter it line by line. I have said Supreme Court decision. You say that this case will not apply to me. You have to give a speaking order. You can't just like that. If you don't do this, if you keep doing some nonsense, then I have the right to go to the High Court on a writ petition. I can say, quash the order, like that. Okay. So the point I'm making, my dear friends, is tribunal is a quasi-judicial body. Therefore, the tribunal has been given the power to call an AGM. So tribunal may call or direct the calling of an AGM when, if any default is made in holding the AGM of a company under section 96. Friends, to hold an AGM, first I need to hold a board meeting. Board meeting. Now, it could be that one director is dead. Only one more director is there. How to call a meeting? I don't know. Because how to appoint one more director? I can't have a board meeting also to appoint. For that, I need a general meeting, Baba. To appoint a director, I need a general meeting. So, how do I call that general meeting? So, you go to the tribunal and say, please help me. So, any member of the company can apply. Boss, this is what's happening. We want to appoint directors. We want to hold a general meeting. Kindly help us. We want to hold an AGM. Accounts are to be adopted. Similarly, there is a power for calling AGM also. Okay. Now, whatever the power of tribunal is, notwithstanding anything contained in this act or the articles, which means all the rules that you read up to now in 96. Now, when the tribunal is directing the calling, they can give any direction, notwithstanding anything contained in this act or the articles of the company. The tribunal's power is supreme here. The word notwithstanding is very powerful. It means whatever is said in the earlier sections, whatever is said in the act, whatever is said in the articles of the company will not be relevant. Whatever the tribunal says, he can say. So, the tribunal can not only say call an AGM, they can also give ancillary or consequential directions, like how it will be called, where it will be held, etc., etc. See, the tribunal will give an opportunity. Believe me, this is very real. There could be a situation where directors are out dead. One director is there. What to do? You have to go. There may be a fight between directors. See, there are 3 directors. They are fighting. They are not holding AGM. I'm a member. So I'm saying, hey, hold an AGM, and they're not holding. So I can go to the tribunal, and tribunal will direct the calling of an AGM. Hold it. Then they have to hold it. Now, it is quite possible that the membership of the company might also be reduced. See, let us say that there were 2 directors, husband and wife. Wife dies. Kanta Vyoga, she is dead. Fellow is crying. Oh my God. But that is not his only problem. Huh? How to hold the AGM? How to call a board meeting? Only 2 guys. Wife is gone. Of course, once one guy came to my father. My child practicing Jadagon. My father is practicing Jadagon. Is still practicing, 85 years old. When he was in the prime age, and my father at 55, my age 57, my father at 55, man came to him and said, sir, my wife is dead, sir. Sorry, Bob, what to do? Like that. Then he said, sir, how to hold AGM, sir? Then that is what I have come to ask you. Not for spiritual advice. That I will go to Swamiji. I want practical advice. How to hold. I said, hey, my father went angry. What is your problem? One wife, can't marry again, man. No, sir. Like that. So, how to hold? Yeah. He is the only shareholder, only director. To appoint one more director also, of course, let us assume he gets married again and wants to appoint the second wife as a director. For that also he needs to hold a general meeting. Only one fellow, only one shareholder know what to do. So when the tribunal is calling or directing the calling of an AGM, it can give directions, ancillary or consequential directions. One of the directions will be that such directions may include a direction that one member of the company present in person or by proxy shall be deemed to constitute a meeting, single member meeting. This is called one-man meeting. See, OPC, one-man meeting now. One-person company, one-man meeting. Similarly, where the tribunal is calling or directing the calling of an AGM, under 97, they can say one member shall be valid. Even one member present in proxy shall be valid. See, that guy also got so rejected with his life after wife's death. He goes to US. He is not able to attend the meeting. So he can give a proxy. That proxy will attend general meeting. Obviously, the proxy will appoint one more director, two more directors, etc., start. Okay. Life will start again. So for this purpose, AGM can be. So tribunal has the power to call or directing the calling of an AGM. Okay. A general meeting held in persons of this section shall, subject to the directions of the tribunal, be deemed to be an AGM of the company. So this will ensure that there is no default in holding AGM. Okay. I'm sure some of you might be having queries as you are listening to me. Don't worry. Write down your query or note it. Baad some other class you ask me, I will tell you. But fairly simple provisions now. Now, this is, please note, 97 deals with power of tribunal to call. Here, power of tribunal to call meetings of members, that is other than AGM. Even board meeting, any meeting, meetings of members, etc. Tribunal may order a meeting of the, sorry, this is for general meetings. This is for AGM. This is for a meeting, any meeting of the company, not board. I'm sorry, I'm taking it back. Only meeting of the company means meeting of the shareholders of the company. Okay. Tribunal may order a meeting of the company to be called, held, and conducted in such manner as the tribunal thinks fit. When, if for any reason it is impracticable to call a meeting of a company other than an AGM, because AGM is already covered here, Baba. 97 AGM is covered. This is other than an AGM. If it is impracticable, then it can be done. So in any manner in which the meetings of the company may be called or to hold conduct meeting of the company in the manner prescribed by this act. See, for many reasons it's becoming. See, same reason is possible for EGM also. Now, your AGM, you are not, you want to hold an EGM. Same problem. Wife died, only one director, one shareholder. What to do? So go. Power has been given to the tribunal to how the tribunal may do it suo motu. I'll tell you when it will do suo motu. Suo motu means, you know that, on its own motion. Why it will do suo motu? See, there may be another proceeding pending before it. Some other proceeding may be pending before the tribunal. Like, for example, they may be having the oppression and mismanagement or complaint against the company. While doing that, they notice, hey, the majority shareholders are not holding meetings. So they will say, hold an EGM first. Hold an EGM. So suo motu. And at that meeting, you appoint director, do all this and come back to me and report. So on its own motion, or it can do so on the application of director or member of the company. Please note, AGM only member can apply. Here, even a director can apply for holding of EGM. So, on application of director or member of the company would be entitled to vote at the meeting. So, a member means he should be entitled to vote at the meeting. Okay. Now, as in the case of AGM, the tribunal may give ancillary or consequential directions, including directions modifying or supplementing in relation to calling, holding, and conducting. The notice period may be reduced, etc., etc. So they can give directions, including direction that one member or a proxy, whether present in person or by proxy, shall be deemed to constitute a meeting. Any meeting called, held, and conducted in accordance with any order made under this section shall for all purposes be deemed to be a meeting of the company duly called, held and conducted. Right? So, this is the thing. Now, in case there is a default in complying with 96 to 98, means 96 AGM normal provision, 97 Tribunal calling an AGM, 98 Tribunal calling for other than AGM. Any default in holding a meeting under any of these sections, 96, 97 or 98, or in complying with the directions of the Tribunal, then company and every officer of the company who is in default liable to a fine of 1 lakh. Officer who is in default, in case of continuing default, further fine of 5,000 rupees. Both company and every officer. Right? So this is the provision. Right? Remember this. Report on AGM. That is, certain types of companies like listed companies have to give a report on what happened at the AGM. The proceedings of the annual general meeting should be reported. Okay, this is applicable only to listed companies. A report shall be prepared in form number MGT 15 on each AGM, including the confirmation to the effect that the meeting was convened, held and conducted as per the provisions of this Act and the rules. So this MGT 15 report on AGM, see, basically that report will have what are the matters transacted, how many votes were cast, favor, against, passed, whether it was passed and all. What was the meeting, quorum for the meeting, all that you have to. The company shall file with the registrar a copy of the above report within 30 days of the conclusion of the AGM with fees or additional fees as may be prescribed. So, its idea is listed companies, whether they are holding the AGM correctly. So, compulsorily you have to file a report on the AGM within 30 days in form number MGT 15. Now, the report shall be prepared in the following manner. This is in addition to the minutes. Later on, we'll be talking about minutes of meetings, general meeting, board meeting and all. Minutes are proceedings. What happened? Detail the note. This report will be similar to minutes, but this is in addition to the minutes. You should not only prepare minutes, extract from the minutes will be given in this report. We will be seeing minutes later on. Minutes is a document, a written record of what happened at the meeting. It should be fair and it should report correctly what happened. And so we'll see. We'll talk about minutes later. So this report is in addition to the minutes, which should be prepared by the company secretary. The report shall be signed and dated by the chairman of the meeting, or in the case of his inability to sign, by any two directors of the company, one of whom shall be MD, if there is one. And our friend, the company secretary, also should sign. Okay? If there is a company secretary. Right? So, please note, this is applicable to listed companies. So, definitely, there will be one chairman of the meeting, there will be one MD, company secretary. No. So, either chairman and company secretary sign. If chairman is not able to sign, then two directors and company secretary. One of the directors should be MD, if he is there. The report should contain the following contents like the day, date, and venue, confirmation with respect to appointment, number of members attending, whether the quorum is present. We'll see quorum a little later. In the next class, possibly, I'll talk about quorum. Quorum is the minimum number of members required for the meeting, whether that was present. Quorum is the minimum number of members required for the meeting. Just now, for your information. Later on, we will see properly what is provision, what is the quorum. Rules are there. We will see that. Right now, if you are having a doubt, sir, what is quorum? Carom is a game you played on the indoor game. That is carom. C-A-R-R-O-M. This is quorum. Q-U-O-R-U-M. Quorum. Quorum is the minimum number of persons required for holding meeting. Any meeting. Any meeting, minimum number. It will be prescribed in the articles or in the bylaws. In addition to that, the Companies Act has elaborate rules on quorum. So, we will talk about it later. In this report, you have to tell whether quorum was present, confirmation of quorum. Whether that minimum number was present, confirmation with respect to compliance of the Act and the rules. Okay, don't make me laugh. There is something called secretarial standards. Like we got accounting standards, no, those fellows have got secretarial standards. So you have to comply with all that. This is, please note, this is applicable only to listed companies. Okay, so secretarial standards have to be complied with, and with respect to calling, convening, and all that. See, notice, now they have prescribed notice period 7 days and all. Earlier, means for board meetings, they have prescribed now. Earlier, there was no period for board meeting, and it was correctly. These fellows went and put in the secretarial standard 7 days, like that. See, I am board of directors. Yeah, I might want to meet. Only 3 people are there. All of us are known to each other. We can give 48 hours notice, 24 hours notice. No problem. So long as notice is given correctly, so long as the other fellow does not object, no problem. Okay. So, but secretarial standards will be prescribing certain rules in addition to the Companies Act. Friends, I am not bothered about secretarial standards. I am only bothered with Act. What does the Act say? You can prescribe something in the articles. That is different. But you, secretarial standards, no, you cannot say. If you violate secretarial standards, nothing will happen. I'm telling you. So long as you are complying with the Act, right? Act is supreme. You have to only obey the Act. Unlike accounting standards, which have been made mandatory, right? Secretarial standards are not mandatory. Whereas accounting standards are mandatory for every company. But again, when you're getting into corporate governance and all that, you can follow. See, the problem with secretarial standard is, see, the point of the whole concept of meetings is to transact business and to protect the investor. See, unscrupulous management should not cheat the investor by not holding AGM, by not being accountable. That is all. This is the principle. Within that principle, all sorts of rules they will make for themselves. They will not know what to do. I said, hey, this is your secretarial standard. Yeah, no, Mr. Srikanth. According to secretarial standard, hey, that is your standard now. You break it. What is there? It is not the law. Law is different. Law is clear. No. According to secretarial standard, blah, blah, blah. Hey, you make your own rules. Then you say, I want to. See, unlike accounting standards, which are for disclosure, where numbers are involved, where a liability has to be disclosed, or an asset should be disclosed at the correct cost, where these are, they are clear. So we have to obey. You can't say, I will do like this, I will do at market value and all. You cannot do. Whatever has to be done, mark to market. When investments are to be written down, it has to be written down. Otherwise, you will reflect an untrue and unfair view. The profit and loss account will not give a true and fair view. The balance sheet will not give a true and fair view. So accounting standards are different. Secretarial standards are just, see, like all these rituals, they'll say stand up and turn to the north, turn to the south. Right, boss, I don't turn, I'm unable to do what to do. Some exceptions have to be created. Okay. And we have to proceed. These are only rituals. You can do the principle you have to see. What is the principle? Investor should be protected. The director should be accountable to the members. Within this framework, you can be. I mean, this is my view. Not necessarily the view of the institute, but according to me, secretarial standards only so much I will respect. Beyond that, okay, if it is good, I will take it. Otherwise, please go ahead. So, business transacted at the meeting and result thereof. Particulars with respect to any adjournment, postponement of meeting, change in venue. In case, see, you might have planned your meeting on such and such a day. On that day, somebody dies. I don't want to mention anybody. Some big leader dies. Let it not happen, but let us say dies. Then you can't have it on that day. It will be declared as a public holiday. So, national holiday. So, you'll push it. Postponement. You have to mention that. Any other points relevant for inclusion in the report. Okay. The report shall contain fair and correct summary of the proceedings of the meeting. That is, what are the resolutions passed? So, auditors appointment. The resolution for appointment of auditors was proposed by Donkey, seconded by Monkey. It was put to vote and passed unanimously. That is how the minutes should be written. It should be a fair and correct summary of the proceedings of the meeting. So, in case you do not file the report within 30 days, then there is a failure. Then under 121 subsection 3, they are giving a penalty, 1 lakh. And for the company, in case of continuing default, 500 rupees. for every day during which the failure continues, subject to maximum of 5 lakh rupees. Similarly, I think it's a duplicate. Ignore it. Now we move on to EGM, Extraordinary General Meetings. All general meetings other than AGM are called EGM. Extraordinary. AGM is ordinary. But of course, don't call it ordinary general meeting. It is an annual general meeting. But why it is ordinary? Because we know what is going to happen. Every year, year on year, we are going to do it. Adopt the accounts, declare a dividend. You'll be seeing that later on. Ordinary business. There we'll call it ordinary business. Okay. So we know 4 matters we'll be doing. Adoption of accounts and board of directors report. Declaring dividend if any. Appointment or reappointment of the directors retiring by rotation. And the most important item of the agenda. Most important item on the agenda of an AGM. Appointment or reappointment of the auditor. Okay, these are the 4 important things that happen at the AGM. So we know what's going to happen there. Other than this, if you want to do something, you want to change the registered office from Maharashtra to, let us say, Gurugram. I think Gurugram is in, I don't know, NCR, no? I don't know. Okay, maybe, okay. Kolkata to Mumbai. State of West Bengal to, Kolkata to Ahmedabad. Okay, which is what Ratan Tata did. He came from West Bengal to Gujarat because Modi ji said, come. That's all. He calls and he tells Ratan Tata ji, you are welcome to come to Gujarat. That's all. Anytime you come. Anytime you come. The minute he knows that, Ms. Banerjee is creating a problem, immediately he said, you come to Gujarat. That's all. Whenever you want, you come. So they went to Sanand. So you are shifting from West Bengal to Gujarat. You want to have to pass a special resolution. So you can't wait for the AGM next year. So immediately you can hold an EGM. That is called Extraordinary General Meeting. Whenever something other than these 4 matters, you want to, no problem. But if it's lucky that this matter is coming up and AGM is coming, don't waste a meeting. Do other matters also at AGM. But normally, AGM only 4 matters. But if you want to do something also, you can do. But in the middle of the year, you can't wait for AGM. Then call and hold a EGM. So the board may, whenever it deems fit, call an EGM. The board may, whenever it deems fit, call an EGM. May. Whenever you want, yeah. See, my guru used to say, enabling provisions are like spittoons. See, this is like a spittoon. In the railway station, there will be a pot with mud in it, where, if you're chewing pan and all that, you should not spit it anywhere on the wall and all. That is a very bad behavior. You should spit it only in that bucket. It is called spittoon. But it is available to you, boss. If you are chewing pan, you won't use. I am simply standing. Why should I use? So, enabling provisions are available. If you want to use, use. If you don't want to use, don't use. Please understand. Enabling provisions. If you want to use, use. Because it is there, you don't have to go and spit every time. No need. If you want to spit, go and spit. Okay. If you want to transact some business, you may hold it. But, so the word used here is may. Please note, my dear friend, may. Later on, when we come to interpretation of statutes, I will tell you the importance of the words may and shall. So here it is an option. Board may, whenever it deems fit, call. The next word, the board shall. That means no option. You have to do it. The board shall call an EGM at the requisition made by the requisite number of members. So when the requisite number of members has called for an EGM, has requested, made a requisition, then you have no option. You shall call. I hope you got the difference. So calling of EGM by board, suo motu, on its own motion. Whenever it deems fit, you want to transact a business, do it. But again, you can hold it at any time. EGM can be held even on a holiday. It need not be during business hours. Got it? That's why I said these MCAs are jokers. They will say AGM can be held only on business hours. EGM can be held at any time. The EGM can be held at a place within India. You can hold it even at a place other than the registered office. EGM can be held anywhere. At a place within India, they say. Okay. But believe me, today, many companies do not hold EGM. unnecessarily. Rarely they will hold an AGM. I'll tell you why. Because basically postal ballot is there. E-voting is there. So when I can use e-voting, sitting at home, this fellow can vote, go to the net and do it. Why should he come and attend a meeting? I have to give him coffee, tea. Why all that? Waste of time, bus fare, auto fare. Why? Sit at home and do it. So that having taken place, EGMs are coming down a lot. Listed companies especially, only AGM they will hold. Unnecessarily, they won't waste the time on EGM. They will go for postal ballot. Or if they are going for e-voting, they will have an EGM. Along with the EGM, they will go for e-voting also. But the EGM has to be held. Physically, one meeting will be done, but the voting will be done through electronic method. We will be seeing that when we come to poll and all that, we will see that. Don't worry. So, EGM can be held at a place within India, anywhere. Are you able to see the difference? AGM only Registrar Office or CTV, whereas EGM anywhere. Exceptions. EGM of a wholly owned subsidiary company incorporated outside India. And in case of specified IFSC private company, the board may, subject to the consent of all the shareholders, convening the extraordinary general meeting at any place within or outside India. So, if you are a wholly owned subsidiary of a company incorporated outside India, or if you are an IFSC private company, in the case of IFSC private company, subject to the consent of all, you can hold your EGM at any place within or outside India. Okay, so you are the subsidiary, wholly owned subsidiary of a company incorporated outside India. Then you can, but this is not applicable for AGM. I don't know why. Because we have a lot of clients where completely held by a Finnish company or by a Canadian company or a Singaporean company. One of the directors for compulsion we have in India. Other two directors are foreigners. One shareholder is, main shareholder is the company. One nominee is there just to make it two. Now, Baba, why should I hold the AGM in India? The one Indian director can go to Singapore and they can have it in Singapore. No. AGM only in India, Registrar Office. So for that purpose, the Singapore directors will come to India. Very difficult. Compliance is very difficult. Whereas, and virtually also, I cannot hold it. It has to be physical. So it becomes a real pain. They can as well make it, any meeting can be held within or outside India, provided you are a wholly owned subsidiary of a company incorporated outside India. Why not extend this facility to AGM also? I don't know why. Anyway, so EGM called by a board can be held anywhere within India. Exception, wholly owned subsidiary of a company incorporated outside India. IFSC private company with consent of all shareholders can convene its EGM at a place within or outside India. Okay, got it? There is a small error here. I will correct it. It's a very small thing, but it makes a big difference. Convene means call. Okay, convene means to call, whereas conduct is to hold. So I'm going to change it to conduct. Right? So an IFSC company or a EGM or a wholly owned subsidiary of a company incorporated outside India can conduct its EGM at a place within or outside India. The requisite number of members, right? For calling, see, we said at the requisition, when you're calling of board meeting, suo motu, okay. This is calling of EGM at the requisition of members, Section 100, if you can remember, it will be great. Section 100 deals with calling of EGM at the requisition of members. Very important. They could ask you questions. There is a corresponding rule also. Rule 17 is there, which you have to comply with. So, now, the requisite, first you should know the requisite number. What is the minimum number of members for requiring the company to hold an EGM? The requisite number. In the case of a company having a share capital, such number of members who hold on the date of receipt of the requisition not less than 1/10 of such of the paid up share capital of the company as on that date carries the right of voting. So, out of the paid up share capital, not less than members holding not less than 1/10 of the paid up capital, share capital should send a requisition. In the case of a company not having share capital, only members will be there. So such number of members who have not less than 1/10 of the total voting power. Here they are using total voting power. See, suppose the company has 100 members, then no share capital, then one man, one vote. See, where there is a share capital, one share, one vote. Whereas there is no share capital, then one man, one vote, or one person, one vote. Then 100 persons are there, members are there. Then 1/10 of total voting power is 100. Then 1/10 of the total voting power is 10. So minimum 10 members have to require. Company having share capital, then paid up share capital. 5 lakhs is the paid up share capital. Then members holding not less than 50,000 shares or paid up value, nominal value. Please, not market value. Nominal value has to be taken. 50,000 they should hold in nominal value, right? Once they want, you can do it. Any reasonable expenses incurred by the requisitions. After all, the company is supposed to hold the EGM. They are not holding it. Then these members are holding. Then, okay, we'll do this. The requisition shall set out the matters for consideration. For example, this whole thing could be because a director is doing fraud. So one of the matters will be considering the frauds done by Mr. Unscrupulous and to remove him from office. Can be a subject. Okay. So they will set out the matters and shall be signed by the requisitioner. So earlier this was not there. Now they made it compulsory. If you are going to requisition a meeting, you should tell what is it that you are going to do at that meeting. Okay. And the requisition may be in writing or through electronic mode. Friends, do you remember auditor appointing a person? No, that is AGM. Only director you will understand. See, removal of director, it needs special notice. You remember? Now I can do that at an EGM, in which case there could be a requisitioned meeting where we want to remove a director. So you have to give special notice also, because you're going to remove a director at a meeting other than the annual general meeting. You have to remove him. So that needs special notice. Okay. So you have to be careful, which is why if you want to do something, if you're a minority group, you want to do something, continuously be advised by an advocate, not a company secretary. Sorry. Okay. Have an advocate, and of course a good company secretary and your chartered accountant. 3 people should come together and advise you. Okay. Or somebody like me who is company secretary and CA who knows company law, 1 man. And 1 advocate should be there. Because in case there is any problem, you might have to go to court and get injunction. Or you might want to do something. Similarly, if requisition has come from members and you are the management of the company, immediately call an advocate and your auditor and have a conference. Because you might have to get an injunction preventing them from having the meeting and all that. So there you need an advocate. There are many case laws for and against. But here the rule is very simple. If you want to have a requisitioned meeting, you have to set out the matters for the consideration of which the meeting is to be called. And the requisition may be in writing or through electronic mode. Okay? It should be signed by the requisitionist. So you will prepare the requisition, sign it, scan it, and send it by electronic mode. Okay? The requisition shall be provided at least 21 clear days prior to the proposed date. So if you want to hold the meeting, at least 21 clear days before that date, you have to send the requisition. Any reasonable expenses incurred by the requisitionist in calling a meeting on failure by the board to do so shall be reimbursed. See, we have to post all the notices. Whatever charges I'm getting, I have to hire the venue, at least provide some coffee and biscuits. That expense should be met by the board. Okay. And whatever has been paid or reimbursed should be deducted from any fee payable to the directors who are in default. See, suppose the director is eligible for any salary or fees, this money which you paid now, because this fellow should have held it now. Instead, he has made them hold it. Now the company is paying. So that director will have to bear it. See, some provisions of the new law, I'm happy. Some provisions are brilliant. Nice. Very intelligent. After all, it is the default of the director. That fellow wanted you to hold a meeting. You hold it. You made him hire another venue. You made him go there. So, whatever cost is incurring, the company has to bear. But why should the company bear? Again, because if the company bears it, It's not fair now. Whose default is it? Director, you bear it. So it has to be deducted from any remuneration payable to him. Now, you should give a notice. Valid requisition should be deposited with the company. Let us highlight this so that you can understand it better. I will point it. See, this is the date of receipt. This is very important date. Your proposed date of meeting should be within 21 days. Whatever date the board should proceed to call a meeting, and that meeting should be held within 45 days. So, whatever date you want, minimum 21 days you have to give notice. So, once they receive it, then you can't say, I want to have a meeting on 15th of, I want to have a meeting on 15th of September. Hey, as though it's third was, how I will give notice and all. So, minimum you give me 21 days before. So that you give me a date which is beyond this 21 days. Then I am having 45 days to hold. Actually, this part is a little stupid, according to me, because why 21 days notice, I seriously don't know. Okay. See, what the old law said was very clear, ma. I give a notice to you. From that date, you are given 21 days to call a meeting. The board is given 21 days to call a meeting. From the date of receipt of a valid requisition, I am having 21 days to call a meeting. Then I have to give 21 days notice. Please remember that will be seeing in notice. And that meeting should be held within 45 days. So the board should call within 21 days and hold within 45 days. In case the board does not call within 21 days or hold within 45 days, then the requisitionists themselves, the members themselves can call, hold and conduct the meeting, can call and hold the meeting, okay, by themselves on their own within 3 months from the date of deposit. See, my dear friends, look at this picture. All the days are reckoned from the date of deposit of valid requisition. All are reckoned from this date. So be careful. So, see, the requisitions will deposit now. Within 21 days, board should proceed to call a meeting. That meeting should be held within 45 days from the date of deposit. In case within 45 days from the date of deposit, the meeting is not called and held, means called within 21 days, held within 45 days, then the members themselves can hold, requisitionists themselves can hold, call and hold within 3 months from the date of valid deposit of valid requisition. See, you are the management of the company. These fellows are requisitioning a meeting. You want to put an end to this. Then you look at the requisition. Is it valid? Means, is it signed by all? Was it sent by correctly through electronic mode? Etc. etc. You can question it, but once a lawyer gets into the picture, the story is different. Anything and everything can be questioned. Okay. Now, the meeting called and held by the requisitionist shall be called and held in the same manner. All the rules are known. Notice shall specify the place, date, and hour of the meeting and shall contain the business. When the requisitionists are holding it themselves, they should ensure. So the requisitionist should convene the meeting at the registered office or in the same city or town. They say, I don't know why they have not mentioned village, where the register office is situated, and such meeting should be convened on any day except national holiday. So you can't have it on a thing. See, here business hours is missing, but it should be held at the registered office. Registered office. But it should not be on any national holiday. Sunday you can hold, but not on any national holiday. Okay? And it need not be during business hours. Okay? The notice shall be signed by all the requisitionists. The requisitionist, it's a plural actually, but they have not given in the act. I don't know, as usual problem. So the requisitionists duly authorized in writing by all other. So it should be signed by all the requisitionists or by one requisitionist duly authorized in writing by all the requisitionists. That authorization should be present. See, I get authorization from all of you. Then I sign on behalf of all of you with your authorization. But that authorization should be shown by sending an electronic request, attaching therewith a scanned copy of such duly signed requisition So if you are sending by post, then that should be signed by all the requisitioners. No, only I am signing. Then I should have an authorization from all. So enclose that. I am sending it by electronic mode. Then scanned copy. In case I have signed it, and authorization also should be scanned and kept. Or all should sign and the duly signed requisition should be sent. But if you are authorized, then the authorization also should be scanned and kept. So when you're looking at this, you should have a lawyer and a chartered accountant and a company secretary if necessary, and look at it. Thoroughly analyze it. Don't take it for granted. You can question it at any time. You can say it is not signed by one person. Count. See how many people are signed. Then count whether they have complied with the minimum number. Check it out. Find out from the registered folio. Who is this guy? Is he a shareholder? How many shares is holding? Totally how many shares? What is the paid up share capital? Divide. Is it more than 1/10? You have to see. You have to fight it. Okay. If the resolution is to be proposed as a special resolution, there is a special requirement for that. You have to specify that it is a special resolution. Give the, you should also give the explanatory statement. All that you have to do. The intention to propose the resolution should be specified. And if it is a special business, then the explanatory statement is to be given. When the board is giving. But when the requisitionists are doing it, explanatory need not be annexed to the notice convened by requisitionists. So later on, when you come to business, we will see that there are two types of business, ordinary and special. When there is a special business, you have to give explanatory statement. So when the board is convening, they have to give explanatory statement. But where the requisitionists are calling, they need not enclose their explanatory statement. At the meeting, they can explain. I don't know why this is. Because after all, you are asking them to mention here, what are the matters to be considered? When they are doing that, are they not bound by the same rule? Should they not give an explanatory statement? No, they need not give an explanatory statement. They can just come there and take up. No. The requisitionists may disclose the reasons for the resolutions. May. They want. Option. I think that is not correct. They should be forced to give the reasons. Why are you doing this? What is your purpose? They should give. But the law is very clear. Where the requisitionists are calling and holding, they need not give reasons. They may not. They need not give an explanatory statement. Okay? I'll just quickly run through this. And the notice of the meeting shall be given to those members whose names appear in the register of members of the company within 3 days on which the requisitions deposit with the company valid requisition for calling AGM. So I deposit the requisition from that date. I have to see whose names are appearing in the members within 3 days. Only to those people I have to give notice when I am calling. Where the meeting is not convened, the requisitionist shall have a right to receive list of members, together with the registered address and number of shares. Okay? And the company is bound to give the same as on 21st day from the date of receipt of valid requisition, together with the changes, if any, before the expiry of 45 days from the date of receipt of a valid requisition. So, as usual confusion, I am supposed to give notice to those members within 3 days from the 21 days date of deposit. Now these guys are saying board can give that members details at any time from 21 to 45 days. See, if the board wants, it can itself call, ma. It has not called within 21 days. Now I am saying, hey, Baba, you are not calling, I will call. Then within 21 to 45 days, the details of members within 3 days from the date of 21 days should be given. See, I have to give notice to those members whose name appear in the register of members within 3 days on which the deposit of the requisition is made. That detail should be given by the board. That details should be given by the board within the time of 21 to 45. Okay? So this is what they are trying to communicate here. But unless I get the details, how I can send? So it is the duty of the directors to give the details. The notice shall be given by speed post or registered post or through electronic mode. Any accidental omission to give notice to any member shall not invalidate the proceedings of the meeting. Okay. So this is the procedure for conducting a meeting by requisition. Requisition is meeting, right? Now, my dear friends, I think we have covered a good portion, because from now on, we are going to get into procedure for conducting the meeting. Okay. Which I will take up, inshallah, tomorrow in my class, which will be in the evening between 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. as usual. Tomorrow, we will cover meetings. That is going to be more exciting than this. I hope you have, if you have any queries, please do feel free to prepare it and keep it. And in one of the classes, next 3 classes, we will take it up. You ask the query, and whenever I have time, I will keep answering. Right? So with this, I humbly request you to, I suggest that we stop and we move on. Have a great Sunday. I mean, useful Sunday. Use it properly. In case you're writing the exam in November, start preparing now itself. Every Sunday is precious. I know today is an important day for you. India versus Pakistan, blah, blah, blah. CA is more important. Okay? Have that concentration. Cricket, these fellows will play cricket 20 years later also, they'll be playing and earning money. Don't waste your valuable life for that. Huh? Okay? Have a great time. Bye.